Hey guys, happy Tuesday. It is June 23rd. It is 3:43. I am at the park. So I don't know how this is going to sound, but I hope it sounds good because I'm not trying it again. I'm not. I tried to figure it out. This is the best you're going to get. So I have the little windbreaker on. Hopefully you don't hear the wind because it is pretty windy. But anyways, we're going to go over we're going to be going back to the basics and we're going to be going over entries. Someone asked me if I can help them or if I could go over entries. So I decided, of course, to make a video because, again, I don't know about the whole teaching thing, but I can share what I know about how I look for entries. So I did take a trade today. I did take a trade today. I will insert it. Uh, it was the ratio was what? I think it was a 1 to 3. So I was willing to lose um, 1 to win 3. So if I put in 100, I was willing to lose 100 to make 300, like that. Just to keep it simple as what a 1 to 3 is. But what I ended up winning was, um, I think it was like 4K. I don't remember exactly. I'll put it on the screen. That's how much I did today. That trade was, well, first of all, I guess we need Wi Fi. 1 second. Okay, so we are connected. Let me show you guys the trade I took. I took it on the 1 minute. Them 1 minutes been hitting for me. I used to be scared of 1 minute, but they is it not on here? Hold on. Where's my trade? Is that today? Yeah, this is today. My trade should be on here. Oh, I was looking at. Okay, hold on, my bad. Thank you. There it is. That is the trade I took today. What ended up happening? So on the 15, I think it was like a 15 or a 1 hour. It was like a 1 hour play. Where is it? It's right here. No, 15 minute. Yeah, it was a 15 minute. So what ended up happening was on the 15 minute, I seen that um it was this candle. Was it on the 15? What ended up happening? Was it on the 15? It was market open. Yes, market open. And I seen, oh, okay, I know. So I had a 1 hour zone. I can't even scroll all the way back. I had a 1 hour zone, and I thought if price hit this 1 hour zone and buyers close outside the zone, that would let me know that buyers are willing to step in. Now, it didn't do nothing drastic. I wasn't even aiming for anything drastic because I'm like, okay, the chances of price pulling all the way back here is not as high as I that's not, I don't think it could, but I at least think it could pull back to this zone here, which is what I aimed for, which it did. Now I marked that up. Coming on to the 5 minute, yeah, here we go. So on the 5 minute, this candle pushed above this previous high. So we had consolidation coming into the market, price pushed down, it closed outside that 1 hour zone. I don't have it marked up, whatever. um these candles close outside, so I'm like, okay, cool. If price can push above, that'll let me know buyers are here. So this candle ended up, was it this candle, this candle, this candle, it was this candle. This candle ended up pushing above this consolidation area that we had, so that let me know, okay, cool. Now I just needed an entry. So price was moving on up, and y'all know when price moves up with momentum, I kind of switched to the 1 minute to find an entry, and that's what I did. So I switched to the 1 minute. It was one of these candles that pushed above this area. Yeah, it was this one, but it was on the 5 minute, like I was saying. That's where this zone came in. This candle pushed up, this candle pushed up, but it never came back to this zone here. Then these candles pushed above, created this zone here on the 1 minute. I waited for price to come back and tap. This candle tap, I got in as soon as it tapped. So I got in aggressive, and then I aimed for a 1 to 3. It took about, what, 15, 20 minutes, something like that. And yeah, that's how we got our trade today. That literally was it. I got it in on a 1 minute. Luckily, I got out when I did. because price did end up reversing, which I figured it would. I just didn't know um, where or when. So yeah, I caught a little one and then I'm out. But now price actually broke below that zone. So now this zone that I have is invalid, but that is a whole nother trade for tomorrow. So we'll go over that tomorrow. But in this video, I did want to talk about entries. There's three different types of entries. There's an aggressive entry, there's a conservative entry, and then there's your safe entry. So with your aggressive entry, let's say, let's actually put it on like a bar replay. Yeah. And let's actually go over the trade I took on the 1 minute. Let's find it. Yeah, let's do it on here. And I'll show you what an aggressive entry would look like, a conservative entry would look like, and then I will show you a safe entry. For this same exact trade, I'll show you how uh, someone could have got in on the same trade with the three different types of entries. So for an aggressive entry, what we're looking for, one is we're looking for price. Two, actually, let's rewind it even further. Let's rewind it here. Okay. And let's take this. I'm going to keep this just because I like to look back at my trades. I'm trying to think. Should I? Yeah, because it's gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it just because I like to look at my trades. I don't know. I don't want to delete it. But anyways, so for this trade today, I'm gonna show you the three different types of entries. So for an aggressive entry, the first thing we need, anyways, is we need a breaker structure. We already know we're going for buys. We need a breaker structure. So we need, in order for us to get in for a buy, we need price to show us it wants to push higher. So price needs to break above here. This would be our breaker structure if it breaks. So breaker structure, that's also known as the indication. It's an indication price wants to push higher. Ooh, it's hot. That sun came out. Okay, anyways. So once we have that, let's play it. Let's see if price pushes above this blue line. There it is. That's our breaker structure. So this candle that pushed above this blue line pushed out of the previous candle of the opposite color. So the opposite color on this chart is purple. On a regular chart, it would be red. And the candle that pushed up would have been green. So this candle of the opposite color is the zone that price pushed out of. So that's when I would put this purple rectangle around this zone to let me know price pushed out of this demand zone. This is considered a demand zone because price is buying out of it, right? Cool. So I have my rectangle. Now, if I wanted to get in aggressive, all I need to see is price come and tap. It needs to tap the zone. It doesn't matter how fast or how slow it taps. All I need to see is a tap and I'm in. So let's see if we can get that tap. Where would our entry be if we got that aggressive tap? So price is still pushing up. There's the sellers. That's not a tap. That's a tap. This candle tapped. Now, obviously, this is a bar replay, so it's not price isn't moving like it normally would if it was actually a trade. But as soon as price tapped here, we would get in the trade aggressive. We're willing to risk this whole zone because our stop loss would be this whole zone. If we got in on the tap, this whole zone, we're saying we're willing to risk this much if price was to pull back and invalidate. If not, we would aim for a 1-to-1 and we'd be done. That would literally be our setup. A 1-to-1 would be right here. And for the sake of this video, actually, let's see if I can. I probably can't. I was gonna say if I can make it a lighter color. I don't think I can. So let me just put a new one. Okay, so we got in at the top. Our stop loss would be the bottom of this zone, and our 1-to-1 would be, that's if we were just aiming for a 1-to-1. I'm gonna just keep it simple. So for a 1-to-1, this is what our setup would look like with our stop loss and take profit. And whichever one hits first that's the trade. That's literally it. So let's see what happens. Obviously, we know what happens, but just act like you don't. Boom. As soon as it hit, we were out. That's it. That was that's an aggressive trade. That's literally an aggressive trade. We was barely in drawdown. It only came in here and price closed outside and continued up. That would have been our aggressive trade. Just like that. Just like that. Now let's rewind it again so I can show you what a conservative would look like. So for conservative, let me remove this one. So for a conservative, what we're looking for is price to tap this zone and then close outside the zone. So wherever price closes, the candle that tap, wherever it closes, that's where a conservative entry would be. We would either look for that, or another conservative entry would be, let's say price was closing into the zone or pushing through all the way, all the way, all the way. But then all of a sudden that candle that was once a selling candle is now a buying candle and is pushing out of this zone with momentum, we could get in with the momentum. That's another conservative trade. That one's a little riskier, but it's still conservative, because we're not risking as much. So let's say the momentum came here and we got in here with momentum coming outside the zone. Our stop loss would only be this much rather than this whole zone. So and I can show you guys again what that would look like. So let's say we got in with the momentum, which it didn't happen in this trade. So I'm just doing it so you can imagine. Let's say sellers came, they pushed in. And then let's say price got to here and buyers started stepping in. Buyers stepped in, we got in here because we were like, oh, the momentum. This is what our stop loss would look like. And our one-to-one would be here. But if you know that price is at least going to come back and reclaim that high, because we know higher highs, higher lows, I would just aim for a 1 to 2 because price could at least try to push to where this high is. So I'll aim for a 1 to 2. That's how that uh 1 to 2 and 1 to 1 type of things come in. And if you think price can just go even higher, you can aim for a 1 to 3, 1 to 4. That's when that comes in. But anyways, that is a conservative entry. That's what that would look like as far as going in with momentum. But if we were doing the conservative where we wait for price to close outside the zone, let's see what that would look like. So first we would need, price hasn't even tapped the zone. So first we would need a tap, and then we would need price to close outside the zone. It could be the same candle. It can be 3 candles later. We just need to see price tap outside the zone. So let's see. I hope none of my stuff overheating sitting in the sun. Oh, hold on. I got distracted, y'all. Just like that. Hold on now. Let's see. Let's rewind. Wait a second. Oh, Lord. Hold on, y'all. My bad. Let's come back. Okay. We need price to tap outside the zone. And we need price to close outside the zone. I mean, we need price to tap the zone and close outside the zone for a conservative entry. So let's see. That's the tap, and price closed here. So our entry for a conservative would be here if we're waiting for the tap outside the zone. Let's see what that looks like. So price closed here because on a selling candle, it opens at the top and closes at the bottom. So boom. That's what our entry would be for a conservative. Let me make it white so we can see. And then our stop loss would be bigger. And our 1 to 1 would be about somewhere here. That's what a conservative entry looks like. The thing with conservative as well, though, you don't have to use the whole zone if you don't want to. You can use uh, the bottom of the previous candle. So for a conservative, this could be your stop loss, or you can use the whole zone because you never know what price is going to do. You are risking more because you are getting an entry farther from the zone, but you still get a good entry because all you remember, buy low and sell high. So we're still buying pretty low. We're not too far from the zone, and it's only 50 points. So as long as you know what your stop loss number would be, is mine's for me personally is 70. So this is only 50. This would be perfect for me if I got in conservative. That's what that would look like. So this is a conservative entry. We'll aim for a 1 to 1. So let's see how it'll play out, and we will be out the trade. just like that, conservative. Barely any drawdown. Actually, we wouldn't even be in drawdown because once that candle closed, this candle opened, and as you can see, it pulled back just a tad bit, and we were out of there. So yeah, that's what that would look like. And then for safe entry, let's look at a safe entry. It's really that simple, y'all. I'm not even trying to make it this simple. It's that simple. Is it easy? No, but it's very simple, like as in steps. So for a safe entry, what we would want to look for, we need the tap, then we need the close outside the zone, and then for safe, we would need to see price push above the candle that closed outside the zone. So let me show you what that looks like. So first we need the tap. That's the tap. Price also closed outside the zone. So now we would need a candle to push above this candle to show us price wants to continue moving up, and that's when we would get in. So we need a candle to push above this candle. Boom. Once price pushed above here, remember, price would be moving. So we wouldn't get in at the close. We would get in as price is pushing up. So that entry would look like this. As soon as it pushes up, let's say we got in right here. Our stop loss for a safer entry, I would just do it to the zone because I wouldn't even want that. Like now we're a little bit too far from the zone. We're basically halfway. So my stop loss would be to the zone, or if you're feeling fancy, if you're feeling risky, you could still use the whole zone. But me personally, I just do it back to the zone if it is pretty far. And then if we were aiming for a 1-to-1, it would be here. That'd be our trade. This would be our trade for a safer entry. So as you can see, if we were aiming for an aggressive trade, um, it's a higher risk, but it's also a high reward. Conservative, it's almost like even. It's like middle ground. Like you get a good entry, you got a good stop loss. Like it's like you're playing it safe, but not really. And then safe entry. Another thing I like to compare it to actually is like flights. So aggressive would be like a spirit flight. Like you don't know exactly if you're gonna make it. You just hoping you're gonna make it. Because you got a real good price. You got it at a real good price. Like you got it at a real good price, and then if you make it, you almost get it for the best deal. Like you like if you make it to the TP, you're gonna get the best deal. You're gonna get the best deal. That's what aggressive is. But also, if you don't make it, it's gonna take you out. And I mean, but that's what you paid for, right? That's what aggressive feels like. It's like a spirit flight. And then conservative would be like Delta, JetBlue, stuff like that. American Airlines, Southwest. I don't know about Southwest, but the other three for sure. Um, you get in at the close outside the zone, so you know you're safe. You know you made it. You pay for your comfort. You know you pay for the quality of the ride. You're hoping it's not too much turbulence because you waited for price to come outside the zone. There is potential that you might not make it, obviously, because some flights don't always make it. But majority of the time, flights do make it, especially if you get that close outside the zone. And yeah, you'll still get it at a good deal. It'll be a little expensive or it'll cost you a little more, but it's not like too costly. So you still get a good return for what you paid. So that's kind of conservative. It's like Delta. You want the benefits, you want the quality ride, you go conservative. And then safe would be like it'll be like a private jet. Like you control the traffic. You control when you get in. Nobody's rushing you. It's on your time. You get out where you feel like it's safe. You get on when you feel like it's safe. You go to where that's safe. That's literally safe. Like, for example, I don't want to go past this zone. That's it. That's only 35 points. Don't want to go past here. Want to get out here. I'm literally getting in for what I want. I control the traffic. That's literally a safe entry. And that's what this looks like. So it's not the biggest reward. I mean, of course it can be if you wanted to aim for more, of course it can be. But if we're talking 1-to-1, simply just 1-to-1, it'll look like how I just had it right here. And then if you wanted to go for the whole zone because you wanted to aim for more, it'll look like this. So yeah, that is entries. I don't know how much more simple I can make it. Is really that simple. The sun is burning me up, so I'm about to wrap this up. Um, I hope that made sense. Like I said, there's three different types of entries. There's aggressive, there's conservative, They're safe. The best thing you can do is just find out what you're willing, how much you're willing to risk when it comes to calculating your your stop loss. So you know your number, you know how many contracts you're willing to put in, you know how many points you're willing to risk. Once you know that number, you can always just use your tool, make sure that number isn't too big. If it is, adjust it to whatever your number is. Say your number is 50, you know you're willing to risk 50. I don't want price to go past here because I know 50 is my stop loss point. um Come here, Noah. You want some snacks? Want to eat? So I lost my train of thought, I'm not gonna lie. And I got interrupted by Noah. But I hope that makes sense. I will see you guys in the next video. I'm not even trying to ramble. We're gonna wrap this up. All right, bye y'all.